Okay guys, round 3 is getting ready to start up here in just a couple seconds. If you're just joining us, we're playing a red-white deck again. It's doing pretty well, able to push in past my opponent so far. It doesn't have any real bombs, but it has a bunch of efficient, very good commons and uncommons, so I've been pretty happy with it so far. Red-white, you don't usually end up in it because those colors get picked up very quickly, but we managed to snag red pretty early between all the fiery impulses and sergeants, and white was surprisingly somewhat open as well. I lost the die roll. We were against Nitroholic. My opponent deciding to... Oh, we're just waiting for my opponent here. There we go. Honestly, I think I'm supposed to mulligan this, but the fact that I have the vial makes me want to keep it. I wish there was like a rule that if you mulligan, you got to scry 1. I think I can throw it back and look for a better... Yeah, the Grasp and the Fiery Conclusion just don't do anything unless I have a creature. I'm actually going to mulligan this one. This is a little bit better. I like that Molten Vortex is going to give me something to do with extra lands, and I like that I do get to play something on at least the first 3 turns, if nothing else. I'm on the draw as well, and extra lands actually not that terrible with Molten Vortex being out. Against another white deck, though. So we draw Magmatic Insight. I think I want to lead off with the Bonded Construct, though, as a potential blocker. My opponent on green-white doesn't play anything, though. Scout, awkward because it doesn't actually let us get in there, but I'm going to play it out anyway. And we pass back. And then this following turn I can potentially attack, but we're going to see Orchard Spirit. Okay, I'm fine trading either of my guys with Orchard Spirit. I imagine my opponent doesn't block, though. If I draw a land, I might just Molten Vortex it away, but we did not. It's a pretty good draw, though. I'm going to go ahead and offer the trade. My opponent might just be on the Might of the Masses Orchard Spirit plan. He does trade with the Scout. I'm not disappointed to see that. Follow up. Now I have Vial plus Crack Vial if I need to. Can potentially get in 5 damage if my opponent just plays a creature here. Disciple, yep. Okay, now... question is what to do. I think I'm going to Vial. Well, no, then my opponent gets in, so... I'm going to play Vortex. And look to use this land and kill my opponent's Disciple. That's probably not the best use of this land here. But it does let me kill off his guy, and Acolyte will survive this turn. Maybe he just takes it, in which case I can play the Alchemist Vial. He does block there, so I will kill off his Disciple. And then my opponent takes 2, potentially has a 5-drop here, in which case, after that point, we're not looking too good. Let's see if he curves out. If I see a 2-drop, okay. I'm alright with that. Alright, I'm okay with both of those because my Acolyte can trade. I will ship with the Bonded Construct as well. Looks like my opponent is on some sort of mass creature field. That's usually when you play Orchard Spirit, and Orchard Spirit gets good then. Alright, now I could Magmatic Insight away this Plains. I could keep it in hand for Molten Vortex. I think I'm going to attack first. Acolyte either eats something or gets through. Sure. I'm okay trading Bonded Construct for a better card. Alright, let's see what I get off the Vial first. If I draw another land, then I'm happy with Magmatic Insight. Okay. Definitely going to do this now. I was going to say I could have Molten Vortex this turn. Cobblebrute and Prickleboar. I will be able to play Cobblebrute next turn. I won't be able to play Prickleboar yet. Vastwood Gorger is going to be a little bit of a problem for me. Charging Griffin. I like that draw. My opponent on 2 cards. If he attacks with Vastwood Gorger, I'm okay with that. If he does not, four-drop, another Disciple maybe. Probably why. Oh, he has his own Charging Griffin. Okay, and he has a 1-drop. Does he attack with the Gorger? He does not. Veteran Sidearm. That's going to make his Griffin able to block my Griffin. Alright, options. Okay, quite a few options here actually. What I'm thinking is crack the Vial so Vastwood Gorger can't block. Attack with these two. Griffin can block it, but it would die. Griffin can't block either one, so at minimum he's taking 3 and going down to 10. I could also just attack with both. If he blocks Acolyte with Vastwood Gorger, I can discard a land to... No, that doesn't seem great. I could also just play Cobblebrute or Prickleboar. I do like attacking this turn, though. Could play a land, play Cobblebrute, and use Alchemist Vial. Then he gets to attack me back for a lot. I like that. I like trying to get in as much damage as possible here. So we're going to use the Vial on Vastwood Gorger. And then attack with both. See if he chooses to block or not. I'm fine with his Griffin dying here. If not, he takes 7 down to 6. Probably just takes it though, right? Yeah. And then we get to follow up with Cobblebrute and Prickleboar next turn. He probably equips Charging Griffin with Veteran Sidearm. Yep. He doesn't attack with it though, I imagine. Okay, I'm not disappointed to see Land War Empath. This means I still get to attack with my Charging Griffin, and they would just trade. It means he can't really safely attack me with his Charging Griffin though. He can attack with Vastwood Gorger, and he has 1 in hand. What did we reveal? Okay, so he has Hitchclaw. Hitchclaw is the only card he has in hand, and he does not attack at all. Land is pretty sweet. That essentially puts him at 4. If I attack all in, what happens? Cobblebrute trades. Not so good. We're definitely playing Prickleboar this turn. And I could trade my Griffin for his Griffin. Let's see, if I attack all in, yeah, nothing good happens. We'll keep playing it safe here. A couple more lands. If I just rip 2 more lands off the top, I've got the win through Molten Vortex. Place Hitchclaw here, right? And if he's just not attacking, that's giving me more time to draw into a win with Molten Vortex. Enshrouded Mist is pretty good, so that'll let me attack with Griffin. He has one in hand that I don't know about. I think I like attacking with Prickle Boar here. The only thing that blocks it is Vastwood Gorger, and then I can use Enshrouded Mist to get off his biggest creature. And then Prickle Boar can kind of attack freely. If he just chumps it, that's good for me too. Do I want to attack with anything else? I could attack with the Acolyte as well. And the same deal there. What happens if I attack with both? He could block whichever one he blocks with this Enshrouded Mists. Charging Griffin can trade for Acolyte, which I would be okay with. Let's see what his blocks look like here. Sure. Probably Gorger goes in front of something, but whichever one Gorger goes in front of will die. Put my opponent in an awkward situation here. Could have Celestial Flare, Titanic Growth, something like that. I've learned that I need to stop playing around those cards so much, though, and stop assuming my opponent always has them. Also, if he blocks here, I could discard a... No, never mind. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. I do love that Acolyte is hard to just chump, though, or his low toughness isn't as relevant because he can't just block it with like Llanowar and trade off. Okay, is that how we're gonna block? I wonder why he switched them. So here, let's go and let this resolve. And then save Prickle Boar. And even if he has a pump, Prickle Boar still survives. They would just trade Enshrouded Mist for his pump. And go to damage. Oh, he has his own Enshrouded Mist. Okay. Well, that's the last card out of his hand. So there, I just got one of his creatures off the board, which isn't the worst thing in the world. If he draws Wild Instincts, that wouldn't be great. Ooh, very good. So grasp on. Well, let's think about it for a second. So I can grasp the Charging Griffin. That means when it attacks, it's a 4/4. He can block it with either one, but I can tap one down. If he just takes 4, he's dead to Molten Vortex. I can also grasp Prickle Boar, but then Griffin doesn't get through. I think grasp on Griffin is right. Although then he has to chump Prickle Boar. But he has a couple chumps for Prickle Boar, only one chump for Hitchclaw, basically. Or for Charging Griffin. And now the ultimate question. What do I tap down? Basically, assuming this one card isn't something that's going to save him, I think I tap Charging Griffin. The reason being is if he has another Enshrouded Mist, then Charging Griffin gets to trade for my Charging Griffin, whereas Hitchclaw just gets to survive. If it's a different pump like Titanic Growth or Might of the Masses, then he just gets to kill my Griffin here. But assuming if he can't do anything this turn or next turn, I have him dead to 4 power off the Griffin plus Vortex. And he might just block here, which I would prefer. If he doesn't, he's dead to Vortex. Okay. Hitchclaw dies. We pass the turn. Visionary, okay, but it means that he only has a little bit of mana to spend this turn. He needs something to deal with Griffin. Okay, and he doesn't have it, so we'll begin sideboarding. We got very aggressive that game. Worked out very nicely. Did we see a lot that dies to... I think Chandra's Fury's fine. It kills off Leaf Gilder. It kills off Visionaries. I like the Fiery Impulses. I like the Fiery Conclusion. Cobble Brute there is decent. We'll have to keep in mind that he has his own and try to miss. I don't think I want to bring in Guardians just because we want to be aggressive. Magmatic Insight was okay there, but it was awkward because we had the Insight plus the Vortex. Kythian Tactics I think is going to be good. Grasp is good. I do want to bring in this Fury, but I'm not sure what to cut for it. Maybe one of these artifacts. I'm going to cut the Vial here, I think. Even though the Vial's been pretty decent. Maybe I cut Magmatic Insight. I'm going to try that. I'm going to put in the Fury. I'm going to cut the Insight and try to maximize on Vortex instead. Our opponent is going to play good luck, Nitroholic. Let's hope for a similar game. 1 red mana with a Fiery Impulse, but nothing else. Seems a little too risky. We're heavily reliant on white mana, and again, Fiery Conclusion, not so good. This is very close, actually, but I'm up a game. Sure. Well, this is also just not that good. Because we can grasp up Construct, but what does that do? I'm going to keep and just hope this works out. And there's a very high chance it just doesn't work out. Because it needs red and it needs white playable. It needs a lot. Well, that's a start, I guess. Okay, Visionary's fine. Red mana's good. Okay. You can... Do we just... I don't know. I don't think so. I can Fiery Impulse the Force Mage. I'm fine just taking 3 off that. I think I will Impulse the Force Mage end of turn, though. Maybe it was just right to do that on Visionary. And then... I don't know. Oh, I don't mind the Vial. Let's go and play that first, so we know whether we're drawing a land or not. Another Impulse. Still can't attack. Alright, is he equipped here? If he equips, I'm fine trading Construct. He does not, though. Alright, so his hand's working out okay. Let's go and get the Griffin down. And see what happens. Might have a Griffin of his own. I imagine if he had his own Griffin, he would have played it last turn. Don't want to see a big fatty here. Probably a Disciple. Wild Instincts. See, that's gonna make you a 4/4. Yeah, that didn't work out well. And I could just trade here again. Construct's not doing anything, so I think I will do that. Construct can't attack, so I might as well stop him from hitting me for 4. Alright, didn't want to see that land. Here, we're just going to pass back now. Now we need to start drawing some action. You might just have Vast Woodgorger here. If he plays something that dies to Impulse, oh god. Well, we do have Vial to save us a turn on that. Leaf Gilder's okay. So, what do I want to see? Oh, right, he can equip that too. Alright. Nope, didn't want to see that. Alright, if this renowns, we're in a lot of trouble. I need to draw, I don't know, basically something to block it, I guess. Cobble Brute. Sure, I could Fiery Impulse in response and kill his Gilder. But if I draw a sorcery or an instant next turn, I can play it and then kill his Castellan, and that's what I want to do. So I'm going to let that happen and take 3 here. Yes, sir. And he just mucks up the board some more. Empath is going to get him a card. Not in a good position. Not at all. He revealed Disciple. Alright, Vortex could be good. So Vortex lets me either pick off one of these. I don't have Spell Mastery, right? Unfortunately, I do not. I really don't want to waste this land and the Impulse here because I could Fiery Impulse one of these and Llanowar another one. And he follows up a Disciple. I'm going to pass because the 4 damage off this isn't really that different than 5 damage off those. We're in a pretty bad spot. We're going to need to draw something. Let's see. He attacks. He is going to Renown, so let's go ahead and Vortex his Gilder. And then we'll Fiery Impulse the Empath. Then he's going to have a 4/5. And the 2/3 Death Touch. I think we're losing this game. We're definitely going to lose this game. If I draw land, I'll concede. Oh, Vast Woodgorger too? Yeah. Okay. He does have Wild Instincts. I wonder if I want Titanic Strength. I put in Chandra's Fury against him. But they're actually, I'm going to take that back out because even though it's good against the little guys, it doesn't do anything against the big guys. So let's go ahead and go with Titan Strength instead of Magmatic Insight. The Scry could be relevant. We did Mulligan that game, so that's worth noting. I'll play first. Oh, we keep getting these terrible hands. We are running 17. Sure. Not a good hand. Man, we have such a bad Mulligan record. The Vial, I'm happy to see the Vial, though. Does mean I'm going to see 2 extra cards next turn. Okay. Now I just want to see a creature. Give me a 3-drop creature. Not great. Something that dies, probably a Visionary. Visionary's awkward because I don't really want to Fiery Impulse it. There we go. This lets me keep up Fiery Impulse. If he plays Yeva's Force Mage, that's okay. Opponent on a full hand, too. Then we have some options next turn. Alright, he has that Castellan. We could play Enthrallin' Victor, which is, we don't want to renown his own guy, right? We could play Grasp. Tap down his Castellan. Leave up Fiery Impulse. I like that. Leave up Fiery Impulse and Alchemist Vial. He probably goes for something like Wild Instincts next turn. Let's attack. Actually, if I tap down Visionary, he's not going to block with this. If I tap down this, he's almost certainly going to block with Visionary. So let's block Visionary. Or let's tap down Visionary. I imagine I'm going to see Wild Instincts here, in which case I'm going to Fiery Impulse and my guy will still die, which is annoying. Of course. Yep, you have it. Play it. Oh, Suppression Bonds. That's even worse. Because I don't have a way to get rid of that in my deck. Alright, we'll stop Castellan from attacking this turn. Sure. Construct's a lousy draw. Let me think. If he has Wild Instincts. I mean, I could play Enthrallin' Victor and get in for 1 here. Or I could play Bonded Construct, hope he attacks with Castellan and block it, and then try to Fiery Impulse it off. That's probably better. I do hate that I don't have a way to get rid of Suppression Bonds in my deck. And if he has Wild Instincts here, we're just super hosed. Well, we do have a Fiery Conclusion in our deck. That gives us at least something to do with the Free Blade. Does he pump up the Castellan though? Yeah. Alright. Opponent is playing around the tricks. Because I'm just gonna chomp. Okay. Mountain lets me do Victor plus Fiery Impulse. I guess I take his Force Mage. Sure. He's just gonna let this through. and I don't feel good about this with my opponent having as many lands as he does and 4 cards in hand. Like, this is a trade here, but then he's still actually just hitting for 5 damage a turn. Am I going to see Disciple or Instincts? It's awkward if he plays Instincts on something like the Force Mage here. Actually, that would work out because I could blow him out with Fiery Impulse and still have my blocker up. If he Instincts the Castellan, it kills my guy, and then I can Impulse his guy off. If he Instincts one of the others, I can Impulse in response and still have Enthrall and Victor up. If he plays Disciple... Okay, so he does go for that. Let's see if we can blow him out. Dang, he has the Enshrouded. Of course you have the Enshrouded Mist. Okay, so we're just going to straight up lose this game. Because he's hitting me for 2, 3, 4, 9 damage this turn. This Renowns. I don't think I can win this game. Yeah, I'm going to concede. There's no sequence of draws that gets me out of this with that 4-5 there. So he wins fair and square. Yep, he had the Enshrouded Mist, so he had the backup plan, of course. But there you go. Having no way to deal with Suppression Bonds, also a little disappointed. We had an option to take Enlightened Ascetic, but I don't think I would have even boarded it in there because I didn't see Suppression Bonds. But not sure what we could have done differently there. We had to mulligan, of course, on the play too. The deck was good. The deck was definitely good, but it had a couple of bad cards in it, like Construct. I wish I had gotten a better 2-drop instead, and Vial. Vial's okay when you're trying to renown creatures a lot, but that really messed us up. The Suppression Bonds on our 4/4. And he just had follow-up plays, good sequence of follow-up plays too. So good game to him. We're 2-1, and thank you all for watching. Leave your